today was Twirly Tuesday. So it was a cinnamon roll day where you can get a minimum order of cinnamon rolls instead of having to get a dozen outside of the Twirly Tuesday. And she ordered and she messaged back about an hour after I dropped them off. And she's like, oh my gosh, these are amazing. Take all my money. And I, gladly, but no, I didn't say that, but I was just like, it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And I hate it's true, but I'm just terrified and waiting for that one bad review because it'll happen. It will happen. And someone hold back my wife because she's defensive and she's ready to, and it's just business. And sometimes it sucks how one bad review can just ruin 1,000 good ones.
Yeah. If it makes you, if it helps, I'll go undercover and do it myself. So you get the first one out of the way.
That's okay. You gotta do that.
Hello and welcome to the podcast. This is a new
everybody.
podcast. It might have been like demon possessed. It was a fairly large, mutated looking chicken. We were born in the north, but we grew up in the south.
We learned all of our words from Pennsylvania.
And people are, that's a toboggan. That little toboggan
Not
there.
a toboggan. A toboggan is a sled. Okay.
0.3 inches, baby.
Dude, I can't take it.
Until like a sketchy Mexican market, and like,
Oh, what?
I didn't know what I was doing. I was just saying yes to everything, and so like they gave me like 20 tamales that I just needed 5. It was bad.
What?
And then we're like traffic on the way home. It was bad.
20 tamales.
Yeah, too many.
Oh, man.
So, and I'm at cess because I'm using his mom's Nana cup. So,
I think I've used that cup.
anyway, yeah, it's a good cup. It's a good cup.
It's a big
So,
one. How's
It is a
life?
big one.
Yeah, how's life been going since I've seen you last?
it's good. I am gonna go ahead and put out a little advertisement for Joe's production. If anyone doesn't know, you did a video for our wedding.
I did.
That thing was good.
Oh, thank you.
That thing was very good.
Thank you.
And you could tell Katie liked it because I'd be in a different room and all of a sudden I hear the music and the, and the that you put in it and all that kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
just over and over and over and over. But it was really good.
Good. I'm glad.
Well done, you two.
Yeah.
Well done.
I think the goal with wedding videos for me is mostly just because I want to condense it down into like 4 minutes. I know some videographers like to do like a 20-minute highlight video, and I don't necessarily care for that because it ends up you have to get through the fluff of the day just to see the
Yeah.
moments that really meant something. And so if I can capture a few moments that meant something to you guys and put those in the video where you can watch that, and if you want to watch a longer, you got the ceremony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It also, I think, I mean, I was there the whole day, but of what I was there for, I know it was good time because we've always been friends with Seth and the parishes in general, their whole family. So it was a good day filming.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But
I'm glad.
yeah.
I mean, I know you couldn't use half the audio because I was crying through it, but I apologize about that. But Seth's like, he got a lot of video, but he can't use it because all you hear is Matt sniffing. I'm like, I'm sorry, okay? It's a little emotional.
No, that's not. It had nothing to do with the video. It was I just had to go through and take out a few sniffles during the ceremony, but that's all right.
How do you take out a sniffle?
I just dipped the audio down real quick.
Oh, smart.
But it was, it is what it is. I understand, man. There was
Mhm.
but yeah, how has work been going? Tell a little bit about what you do and
Yeah.
Oh.
what you do for work and what you do as hobbies. How about that?
Ooh, working hobbies. So right now, own a social media bakery.
Okay.
So need to practice some shipping. So I'm sure I can ship to y'all if that's all right.
Yeah.
But basically, it's just all social media driven, and it's enough to sustain the business. So I was able to retire from my job at the pump house, which I was a server there. And so basically we're doing that, and hopefully we're getting it to a point where Katie can come on, and we're looking for a kitchen, and it's good. It's good. It's fun. It's a little stressful, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Much rather do that.
Where did you come up with that idea? Social media bakery. I've never heard of anybody. I mean, I've heard of people doing like online businesses and stores, but not like food-based things besides like DoorDash or anything like that. Was that just an idea you had one day, or did like?
Well, basically, so it kind of transformed into that because basically during the pandemic, everything shut down. Everyone's on Facebook. And so we created a Facebook page a few months prior, and I just started getting really active on it, and orders started coming through there. I used to get like, maybe a phone call from like someone I knew, but orders started coming through the Facebook page and on Messenger and stuff and on Instagram. And so we just started growing it from there, and it went from 130 of pre-pandemic, and now we're at 1870.
Wow.
So almost 2,000 followers, which is great because, that's 2,000 people I can market to.
Yeah.
And so, I can stay pretty busy right now. And then eventually we'll probably try and grow it into more online. And the idea is to get a kitchen so we can increase the productivity, but not really have a walk-in yet, so that we can still, close down if we need to have a special family event or, something along those lines. We can just kind of take orders online instead of people having to come into the bakery. So it's good. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So you're one of the few that had an upward trajectory during the pandemic. Instead of, like, I was actually listening to Joe Rogan's podcast, and there was this comedian, and she was complaining. She's like, I look at all these people just, getting fit and becoming healthy, and
I know who you're talking to. Yeah, I saw that one.
And I was sitting here getting bed sores. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I definitely had my downtime because, we didn't have 2,000 followers at that point. So we were busy, but weren't like insanely busy. But I can't sit still.
Yeah.
I'm not a sit still kind of, I have my moments where I can, don't get me wrong, but like, I don't know, I need something to do.
Yeah,
so,
you got to go.
It's fun.
What's, when you're thinking about dreaming about the future with a location, right? I want to know, like, what's going to be the vibe of your bakery? Because we live here in Virginia Beach. We live in an area literally called the Vibe District.
Yeah.
And so we got some hipster places. What's your vibe going to be?
It's like Southern. It's like, okay, so take Miss Parrish and put her in a bakery.
So Seth's mom.
So like, it's like this good Southern, bless your heart, love you, honey, welcome, come on in, try this, try that, just really Southern and really just relaxing and enjoyable. So not really the hippie-ish vibe. I know that's actually starting to kind of get popular here in Rock Hill. We have some restaurants that are coming up that are like very modernized, I guess. This is like taking it back to the 50s, just Southern, wooden floors, rocking chairs on the front porch, just good stuff. So
you can see that.
I
know. I haven't tried too much of things you've made, but I've had your cookies. At your wedding, I got to sample some. You had some of your cookies there.
You made a crap ton of cookies.
They were good.
Good. Well, one of the things we want to do is get it to where they're good when they're out of the oven for a little bit. Yeah. But like, man, if you can get them right out of the oven, right out of the oven, I'm proud of them. They're good. But
what all are you making these days for people to order online?
Well, it's mainly Southern things, like simple. Everyone's trying to like, it's kind of a pet peeve of mine, but everyone's trying to like push these like complex flavors that maybe 2 or 3 people will try, but the majority won't. So like, I saw the other day, someone was like, it was on some kind of Facebook market, and they were trying to sell a pear and bacon muffin. What? And don't get me wrong, I would try it, but like, would you rather have a pear and bacon cookie? Do you want a chocolate chip cookie? Everyone likes chocolate chip. So the idea is simple, man. Just simple. Brownies, simple. Big old fat brownies, pecan pralines, pound cake, old fashioned pound cake. And then one aspect that we try to do is make everything seasonal. So strawberry seasons come up. We're going to do a buttload of strawberry stuff. And then when June and July come, strawberries will disappear because the best strawberries are during that season. You get a strawberry in the winter and it's like
sad.
biting into It's sad. It's not good. So
yeah, I mean, it's tiny,
seasonal.
it's flavorless, it's a little sour.
Flavorless.
Yeah.
Flavorless.
I'm curious, what is your strategy? Because, I mean, how long have you been pursuing, or, you know, your company starting? How long has it been in existence?
Since 2019, late 2019. So still, you know, very early. And honestly, you never want to wish failure on anyone, obviously. But at the same time, you're trying to find these opportunities where a kitchen becomes available and we can snag that kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
And so basically every time I'm delivering around Rock Hill, I'm looking everywhere I can to find a kitchen, because that's definitely our next step. But it's just it's very difficult. You would think, I don't know, you would think some people would have suffered during the pandemic. And honestly, it seems like Rock Hill thrived because we didn't really shut down much.
Yeah.
So it's just a great thing. It's a great thing. But at the same time, you're just like kind of frustrated because I'm like, I got to find a kitchen, but I can't find one. And it's just got to do what you can do right now to make it through. So, but I don't know. Ideally, just want to grow this thing, man. Just grow it and have a family business, and I don't know, be y'all sponsor whenever your podcast goes like crazy. Just be awesome.
Yeah.
Just throw in a little PratersBakery in there, and it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
I can we go back a little bit? Because you're getting into baking and stuff. What got you into that? I've never heard this story. I've never got down.
Basically, we've never met a baker.
Yeah. Well, a baker, or just why'd you want to become a baker? What did you always like to cook?
That wasn't the plan. So I went to culinary arts in Greenville. Got a 2-year associate's there. Mm-hmm. Went to USC for hospitality management. Got the 4-year degree there. And then took some time, work at a catering company, was director of catering, hated my life, I didn't hate my life, but it was a very hard job. It was a very hard job, very stressful. And that's actually the first time I dated my wife. Mm-hmm. And so we actually kind of parted ways at that time because the catering business was just so stressful and so time consuming. I didn't have time. And so, but anyway, I wanted to go back to school. So got my degree in nutrition, and the idea was to own a restaurant. That was the big plan, to own a restaurant. But man, when you work in a restaurant and you see exactly how they function, there's a hard line between time management in a restaurant. And it's like, you're married to that restaurant. You see so many chefs. I know of so many chefs that they go through divorces and they go through all these issues in their marriage because they're married to the restaurant. Mm-hmm. And some never get married because of that reason. So I'm just like, I don't want that life. And so I started selling some cheesecakes on the side. And then in 2019, I'm like, you know what, let's just make the Facebook bakery page. That'd be cool. And, you know, we can just show off, basically just show pictures and stuff. And honestly, the pandemic blew it wide open. Wow. It was awesome. For Valentine's Day for the pandemic, I don't think we were quite in a shutdown at that point, but people were starting to work from home and all that kind of stuff. And I posted 2 mini heart-shaped cheesecakes, and they were like strawberry swirl cheesecakes, 2 for $20. And someone ordered that, posted on the Rock Hill Eats, which Facebook page, which has like 20,000 followers. Yeah. And I got hammered with well over 100 orders for those cheesecakes. And I couldn't pump them out in time because I only had like 8 pans because I didn't expect anything like that. So I think one of the quotes I've heard is like, never waste a good, or never waste a, not a pandemic, but never waste a
crisis. Yeah.
And I kind of get that now. It's not necessarily a bad thing to say because you can find a lot of advantages and stuff like that. So,
and you're creating comfort food, which is something people need at a time, you know?
Yes. So there's an ice cream shop in Rock Hill, and one of the owners, in talking with him, he said that there are 2 times in his existence where he smashed records. One of the times was this pandemic because people just like to feel good. The other time was 9/11. So when that happened, because people are scared and people just want to be comforted, and we go to food, which is why we have, you know, some of the issues that we have in this country. But it's I mean, it feels good to go to food, man.
Yeah.
It feels good.
No, we need guys and companies like yours, because where are we going to get it? We can't just go to Food Line and get their cheap stuff that comes off a conveyor belt. Heck no.
Man,
We want something
they
that's
got,
been made by, a little rocking chair, local,
And love. Something love.
made with love, man. Like the pans
Yeah.
aren't perfectly clean when you put them in
No.
there, They got some
shouldn't be.
they got some
shouldn't
chocolate
be.
chip remnants in there somewhere,
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Imperfection is perfection.
Yes.
It's awesome. So I was in the store the other day and I saw Food Line. They were selling like their apple pies for $6 each, and I think I sold ours for 25, and that was in the fall, using local apples. And man, you just taste the process. You just taste the process when you get a Food Line pie. So yeah, when you get a a local pie, you can taste the process. See what I did there?
Yeah. Now that's interesting. Process. So are you dedicated to like the idea of local ingredients, like not wasting or not just going with necessarily the cheaper option? Now you said you don't want to be hipster, but it's a very hipster thing to do there.
I don't know if it's a hipster thing to do. I see what you're saying. You're saying, but I feel like people are recognizing, and they're recognizing seasonality and the importance of seasonality. And yeah, I mean, I guess that is kind of a hipster thing. I can see it. Like,
It's all right. You're a
got my
young
garden
guy.
in the
You can be
backyard.
hipster if you want, man.
Yeah. I might go down that route. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how
You
things
just got to get a
change.
man bun. It'll be all right.
Man, I wish I could grow my hair into a man bun. I would try that so hard. But no, local is good. I was actually talking to my wife the other day about this. One of the people that I delivered a set of cookies to, she gave me tomatoes, which was really cool. But they're tomatoes from like right on the border of Georgia and Florida. And it's so funny because if you take that tomato and you cut it open, and then you take a tomato from Walmart and you cut that thing open, it's from Mexico. The Mexican tomato is like white on the inside. There's no flavor. It's like biting into an apple.
Yeah.
But when you take that local tomato from Florida or Georgia and you cut that thing open, juices run out. It's vibrant red on the inside. It's not ripened with ethylene gas. It's good, and it's what your body says. This is a tomato. This is good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think local is the way to go, and people are willing to pay the price.
Yeah. Have you done research on what did you say? Ethylene gas or something? What was that?
Yeah. So there's a great documentary. I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but it's called Food Inc.
Okay.
And that documentary actually started changing my mindset because it wasn't like over the top extreme. It was actually just very knowledgeable. And so what they'll do is they'll pick a tomato from Mexico or wherever in South America. And as they're transporting it, they pump ethylene gas into the truck where it's stored or into wherever it's stored once the truck gets to where it's going. And it speeds up the ripening process. So it turns the tomato from green to red.
Okay.
But the thing is, the tomato isn't naturally producing its sugars like it should.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it looks like a tomato, but it tastes like crap because the plant didn't get the opportunity to concentrate the sugars and to actually develop into what it should be. So it's a great documentary. I know y'all are big in movies, so if you ever want to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about documentaries, but
No, I
you want to check that out,
dabble.
it's good.
Yeah, enjoy a documentary.
Dabble.
Dabble. Do you have talking about local food or organic food or all this stuff, do you have a place you go to get your some ingredients to make your whatever you're
Like
making?
a farmer's market or something?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because I know
farmers market.
you're just talking. This is before we started. You talking about where you were this afternoon? You went to some kind of farmer's market.
No, so we're looking at doing a farmers market for PratersBakery and getting involved in that and kind of starting to sell at some of those. But farmers markets, stands, little fruit stands on the side of the road. There's a fruit stand for Bush and Vine, which is a local farm here that's in the center of town that you can go to. There's something called Springs Farms in Fort Mill, and so they have this whole local shop called the Peach Stand where they sell their produce, and those are places that I go for. And I mean, you can't skimp on it, man. You can truly taste the difference. Going back to the fruit comparisons, if you get a strawberry right now, it's from Walmart, it's not that great. I keep using Walmart, but they're the best example. But if you go to the peach stand, you get a strawberry. It's like this big in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
You have to use a napkin to bite into it because it's so juicy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's a huge difference. It makes a huge difference.
I'm curious. So are there any bakeries or maybe like comfort food companies that you kind of look to for inspiration? So I don't know this. So I listen to a lot of podcasts. So right around holidays, right around Valentine's Day, you hear advertisement for Sherry's Berries. I don't think they're a bakery.
Oh yeah.
But companies like that. Who inspires you?
I don't know if there's when you see something you can get inspired. So for example, Sherry's Berries. For the first time, we're going to do chocolate covered strawberries on the menu because they're in season.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but ironically, they're kind of out of season because Sherry's Berries, you think, Valentine's Day and holidays and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't know if I look to some of the big companies and see what they're doing and try and just do it better, which is part of business. I mean, if you think you can do something better than someone else, that's why you go into business to do it, so that you can do something better. But I think really what it comes down to is just researching. I'll get a magazine. Still, I'm a boomer inside. But I'll look at a magazine at in a grocery store, and it'll be Southern desserts or something. I'll just flip through that real quick. I'm like, Southern banana pudding. Oh man, banana pudding. What can I do with that? Well, banana pudding would be good, but what we did a banana pudding cake. And that's kind of how my mind goes when thinking about that kind of stuff. So I don't know if it's like specifically looking in certain spaces and places, but it's definitely just kind of like researching and going, oh my gosh, you got to some of it comes from my customers.
Okay.
Because someone said a couple months ago, do you have a chocolate pound cake? I'm like, oh my gosh, why do we not have a pound cake? We say we're Southern and we don't have a pound cake. So a pound cake will be on the new menu next week when that comes out.
Yeah, it's like, let me just whip one up real quick.
yeah. Well, it's funny because people are so used to getting everything in one spot, right? And so I had someone who messaged me and said, can I make some macaroons? I'm like, I can't make macaroons. It's French. And so, obviously I was nice about it. I'm like, sorry, we're a Southern style bakery, but it's like people are so used to a one stop and shop. And when you go to one place for all your stuff, you miss out on a lot of good other places.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, a lot of the ideas come from people, customers.
Do you have a lot of regulars or, you probably have a lot of regulars, but like the same people who order stuff week to week? Are you constantly
making
getting
anybody
new people?
fat?
Let me tell you the problem with this. I have a master's in nutrition.
Okay, so you're not making anybody fat. You're making healthy sweets.
No, the problem is I am.
You are.
I probably am. But so my Facebook page, I'll be pushing bakery goods down people's throats. But then you go to my Twitter, I'm like, sugar's the devil. It's like, it's just like, what is it, Dr. Hyde and Mr. Jekyll kind of thing?
Yeah. So by night you're
horrible.
by day you're a bakery who's all happy, and by night you're like a bodybuilder, like starving
could just
yourself,
healthy
like,
America.
grow a pair of horns. You know what I mean?
I could just see like those videos of the guy running on the treadmill while eating like a cookie or a donut.
That'd be good marketing.
That would.
Hey, that's actually really interesting. Okay, so you said you mastered in nutrition.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're also a bodybuilder for a minute, because your Instagram picture, you're pretty jacked. So
yeah, I've tried to. I've weaned off that over time, especially after getting married and stuff. I've tried to be a little more modest.
Well, I'm curious so what has that process been? Because if we dive into like nutrition and we dive into, that world, I like for someone like me who I do video and media and I try to be creative, and I know basically zilch about what's going on in my body. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious. So like, what question should I open up with? What got you into nutrition? How about that? What got you into nutrition?
it's just a passion there. I think it was I can trace it back to culinary arts, and there was a class we took that was a farm to table class, and we got to take field trips to farms around Greenville, and it was some of the best trips because I'm telling you, if you can look for some of these places that really care about their produce and really care about the cows, like when they're producing milk or when, anything along those lines. I mean, the passion behind them drives your own passion. Mm-hmm. So it's like there's this guy who just spoke so highly of his cows. He says, I let them feed this grass in this season, and then I move them over to this part of the farm so they can eat this grass because this grass developed and it's like good for their gut. And then I move them over to here. You can tell he cares about his animals. And it's just so funny because that passion kind of leaks into yourself. And when I started seeing that, I'm like, and I got to taste the milk. I'm like, this is good. This is so good. Like this isn't milk you get from Walmart. It's like, this is just really good local milk. It's absolutely delicious. And, Katie, my wife, she had some issues with milk and being able to drink milk. Well, I got a gallon of milk that was from, I think it's from Greenville, actually. I got it in Rock Hill. She can have it. She can drink it. No problems. And
is it like raw milk?
Raw milk.
Okay.
And so I don't know if it's something in the pasteurization process that denatures proteins and causes it to like mess your stomach up or something.
Denatures proteins. All right. You got to slow down or explain yourself. What is that supposed to mean? Denatures proteins.
Basically, it breaks down the protein from what it naturally was to something else that maybe your body doesn't respond to quite as well.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
So
yes, that makes sense.
It changes the protein, basically. It changes the proteins in milk and some of the enzymes that might be found in it or something like that. So it just alters it, which your body probably saying, I'm not really digging this. Man, I am a hippie.
Yeah. Now you're a hipster. Hippies are boomers now. See, you're a hipster. Yeah.
But it's true, man. Your body likes natural stuff. It's that simple.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have anything on your menu, because you're talking about like Katie not being able to drink milk or anything that's like, or it has like almond milk, or it's more like vegan, or it has, do you have anything like that on your menu that you offer?
We get those questions sometimes.
Yeah.
And if it's pretty simple to do, I feel like I can do it, then I'll do it.
Okay.
But it's not on the menu.
Okay.
Right now, I'm just trying to keep up with orders as of right now. So honestly, expanding that menu even more to other things would be pretty stressful. Hopefully, at one point, I want to do that. I want to get there and be able to offer some options that are good. But I know I did a Seth's girlfriend has issues with lactose and things along those lines, and I know she's trying to figure out what exactly she's allergic to. So for her birthday, Seth wanted me to make a vegan, gluten-free cake. Mm-hmm. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, oh my God,
how do I do this?
How am I going to do this? So I'm researching, and I made it, and I'm like, this ain't bad. I was actually impressed. So,
I think the oddest thing I've ever had was I had a brownie with black beans in it, and it kind of tasted like chocolate, like a black bean brownie. It was weird, but it didn't taste like beans. It was actually tasted like chocolate.
So you gotta like get a syringe and you gotta inject sugar into black beans and see if that does the trick.
They kind of mixed black beans in it. Like when you took a bite of it, you could see chunks of black bean, but it didn't taste like bean. It tasted like a brownie. Odd. It was weird.
That is odd.
But it was good.
I mean, that's the problem is like you can't really find substitutes for stuff because, I mean, if you don't have any issues with any kind of dietary issues, would you rather have a black bean brownie?
I definitely would.
Never had a brownie.
A brownie.
You know?
Yeah, I'm going for a brownie, which I don't.
So it's hard to find substitutes that actually work. Yeah, I want to eat like almond milk. It's not milk, and I think they're like getting sued by the milk companies. And
for real?
They're like having to change their name to like Almond Joy, or
they're gonna get sued again if they do that. Almond Joy is a candy called that.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Watch out, but almonds.
I think it was just recently. This was probably last year actually, but France sued America because we were making cheeses that we said were French style cheeses, but they weren't really to their standards, so they sued us.
Crap.
Who
We're
do they
screwed.
Are they just like suing? Who are they suing here? Just like the cheese
America.
companies? Or?
Just America. They send the
I
bill
just
to
saw
the
that they were
president.
suing America.
Yeah.
So
Well, we're
of America.
screwed
All out.
because the Italians are going to come after us for their pastas, and they're going to come after us for the pizza because we don't do anything like what
Yeah.
kind of pizza came from Italy, and they have the freaking mob behind them. So we're screwed.
yeah,
Wait,
we are.
Screwed. I'm just going to start talking with an accent, and I'll let them take my DNA. I'm part Italian, so that
can
has
get
to
by with
account
it.
for something.
You can get by with it. I
Yeah.
like it.
All right, we're safe if Italy sues America. Hold on. So,
Wait, why are we good?
I don't know. He brought up French is suing America. What is French gonna do? What is France gonna do? Like, are they okay? They don't have a patent on cheese.
I don't know,
I've
man.
never looked
I think
into
there
the
are
cheese game.
some French cheeses that derive from France. I can't remember what exactly was in the lawsuit, but it was something along the lines of you're making fake cheese and calling it like French style cheese, and it's not French.
There's so many foods or things like that, though, that if it derives from a certain place, you call it this.
Yeah.
Like there's alcohols that if you
Yeah,
don't,
Italian wine.
if it's from a certain place or a certain way, a very specific
Irish
thing,
whiskey.
then you can call it, like whiskey.
It's better.
Or,
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably not. But it feels better in our soul, which is probably a hipster thing. But also, I mean, you're kind of banking on that with the southern marketing you're doing for your bakery, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to sue me if I try and switch up something that's Southern and switch it up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's the same case. Like, look, one thing that does kind of stress me out, and I'm gonna put this on the menu, but when I bring out the pound cake, I'm not gonna tell people it's the best pound cake they ever had, because the best pound cake they ever had was from their grandma, or was from those are words. So it's like you definitely got to be careful of kind of like how you're marketing and who you're marketing to, so that you don't turn away people, honestly, because people get offended. That's especially when it comes to food.
See, that's what.
Oh, you're not better than my grandma's
Exactly.
pound cake. I'm not buying your pound cake.
So are you incorporating that into marketing then? You're going to say the second best pound cake you've ever eaten, because we know your grandma's was the best.
Best.
And that's going to be like on the menu.
That's
It's gonna
pretty
say
good.
it. I
not
mean,
gonna TM
you
that,
said
are
it.
ya?
No,
That's
you
pretty
said
good.
it. I just
you said it.
rephrased the second part. No, yeah, you should put that on the menu, because that's like all marketing, man.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everything you say that has a story behind your baked goods, it's all marketing.
Yeah.
And people love it. If someone
Yeah.
told me my grandma's pound cake is better than yours,
then I'm gonna trust
I'm
them
gonna be like, all right, I'm going to have the second best pound cake in the world,
because
you
I
know
can't
what
get it from my grandma right now.
because I can't get it from my grandma. Grandma said no.
I like that. I like that. We can actually call it that, the second best pound cake.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
yeah,
I
right.
think it's true though. I mean, how many things do you have from certain family members
Yeah.
that you just can't wait for during the holidays, or can't wait for whenever you see them, because they make that specific thing? I'm not going to challenge that, especially in the South. I'm going to get beat up if I do that, man.
Okay, is coffee cake a Southern thing or is that a Northern thing?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Okay, well,
Which-
our
yeah.
grandma's from the North. She always
Yeah.
made coffee cake, but I feel like if I just said coffee cake's a Northern thing, and I don't actually know, and we're talking to you who probably know better than us.
I would think that'd be Northern.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like coffee cake may be derived from like tea cake. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? So like tea cakes are big in England. They came over here. They have coffee cake. I'm just making stuff up. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's true, but
It's a great train of thought.
Yeah, that is.
that's what I'm thinking. Like coffee cake probably. I don't think Southern when I think coffee cake.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, and then you don't really think Southern when you think chocolate chip cookie necessarily, but that Southerners like them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely came somewhere from the South or started there.
Oh yeah.
You know, the French aren't doing that. The French are out here trying
Your
to
croissants.
get money for a little airy piece of bread.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like
we
a
want something
chocolate
dense.
croissant.
Give us something dense.
Croissant.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'm curious. Are you more of like a downtown Rock Hill kind of guy, or are you like, in an area that's not really common for planning for the future? Because if
Oh, cheap. Like whatever's cheap. Well, I mean, when you think about it, and this is what I've told Katie, is like, here's the problem: is like you have to judge your overhead costs and make sure that they're not going to crush you. Mm-hmm. And so, like, some people try and go all out, go into all this kind of debt, go into a place that's $30 a square foot, which would be like the downtown area because it's exploding. And granted, if you got that curbside appeal and you're popular, you're going to be just fine. But for us, I want the lowest overhead costs I can possibly have. So I want $15 a square foot. I don't care if it's in the back of a store in the middle of, I don't know, just some unknown place.
Yeah.
I know that everything's social media driven. So like I'm delivering it anyway. So what's it matter where I'm located?
Yeah.
It doesn't, as long as I have low enough costs. Now, eventually, sure. I mean, a walk-in bakery would be good once we kind of get settled down and all that kind of stuff. But man, if you can keep that overhead costs low and you can just save money and you don't have to go into so much debt when you start a business, you're going to crush it. Mm-hmm. You're going to absolutely crush it.
I mean, restaurants and bakeries or coffee shops, wherever you go, I know we haven't lived here in Virginia very long. We kind of grew up around the Rock Hill area. But coming here, I was always asking people I worked with that lived here, I'm like, where's the hole in the wall? The place nobody knows about, but they have the best food, the best coffee, the best like donuts or something. Yeah, I want to go there. Mm-hmm. I want to find that place that's a hole in the wall but has the best food.
Who doesn't? I mean, those are the best places. I mean, what is it? Diners, Drive-ins, and Dines with the
Guy Fieri.
Thank you. Yeah. He kind of made that popular because it's like, just get out and explore. I mean, it's not hard to do. Guess what? You're probably going to come across a hole in the wall that sucks. Yeah. But if you come across a hole in the wall that's good, I mean, that's worth the experience of the sucky one. Honestly, it makes still a really good story. Like we went over there and woman was like cussing us out, and I don't know. I just you make a good story wherever you go, basically.
Absolutely,
so,
yeah.
I'm all for the hole in the wall.
That kind of makes me at home though. If you go in there, it's like an Italian joint, and they're like, "Hey, Joe," and they're like yelling at you. That's like a good time.
Yeah, I want to be in a loud environment. Honestly, I want people to be slightly tipsy, and I want them to be loud, and I want them to be making off-colored comments to each other. Like it's great. It's a good atmosphere. I'm curious, have you...
It's real.
Yes, it's very real. And it's... When you're in a real place, it feels like you're at home because when you're with your family, for most people's experience, it's the realest place you are. So if you're angry, you can be angry. You don't have to hide it. If you're happy, you can dance around and you don't care what people think about, you know? And so, yeah, if you're in a place that people are just being real, it's comforting.
It is.
Like donuts. Speaking of donuts, are donuts on your menu?
They are not.
Do you have plans?
They probably could be. They take some work.
Yeah,
they take a lot of work. And there's actually a donut shop that kind of opened up in York.
Yeah, and, Rainbow Donuts.
I guess Rainbow Donuts.
Rainbow. Dang it! Don't go to Rainbow Donuts. No, wait until Matt makes his own.
Matt's donuts are better.
Well, here's the thing. Do I think I could make a donut better than them? Maybe. I don't know. I don't have the confidence in that. But I mean, there's so many little niches in the market here that you can. I don't know if donuts is Southern. I mean, Southerners love donuts. It's kind of like the cookie thing. Southerners love cookies, but I'm not looking to challenge them on donuts. That's not my passion. That's not what I'm going for.
Gotcha. Have you been to what is the place? Black's Peaches. Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah.
It sells like them.
Oh no, that's
Windy Hill.
Yes,
Windy Hill, which is right
donuts.
next to Black's Peaches.
Yes, they have they have those donuts that are like apple something.
Yes,
I don't know what they do to them, but it's Blackmagic.
Apple cider donuts, they are incredible. But you know, when I want those in the fall. I don't want them right now.
Yeah, and that's when they sell them. Like I don't know what they do during the summer. I guess peaches.
They're pretty seasonal.
Yeah,
but they got smart. And instead of just doing apples and apple donuts, they've opened up a apple cider, hard cider bar, basically.
Ooh. So you got that. You're gonna have the bikers rolling up and being like, "Hey, anybody got some of that cider? You got a log for me to sit on? I'll stay here."
man, they are packed in the fall. And at one point, the restaurant that I worked for, they were serving their cider, their hard cider. So it's good for them. I mean, trying to figure out a way to make money outside of just apple season,
Yeah, absolutely. It's fascinating. What's I want to talk with you about stocks. I do. So
it's okay. We're having a good conversation.
Yeah. We're gonna make the turn here, but first I wanna ask you once more, what is a baked good that you're excited to cook and you're excited to start selling, and you've been thinking about it for a while, but you haven't done it yet?
Oh, that's good. Ooh, that's really good. I think right now I have what I want to sell on the new menu coming out. And sometimes I don't know I want to sell something until I make it. So it's like, this would be a cool idea. And then you just get so passionate about it because it's so good. And you're like, yes. And I think the best example of that is cookies. So every Friday we do a cookie flavor. And so we do chocolate chip, and then we do one other flavor, usually a seasonal flavor. And through the winter, it's been chocolates and peanut butters, and because there's really nothing in season. But we just did a carrot cake cookie for Easter. And I'm not a big fan of carrot cake, but we always test out the cookies anyway, just to try them out. I took a bite of that dough, and then we baked it off, and I took a bite of that cookie, and I'm just like, I was so pumped. I was so excited because I'm like, this is so good. People are going to love it. And there's nothing like getting that confirmation whenever someone messages back and like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, it just feels so good.
You're making people happy left and right, man.
Yeah.
It feels good. It feels good getting that confirmation of, when someone sends, someone did it today. They usually get cookies, and today was Twirly Tuesday. So it was a cinnamon roll day where you can get a minimum order of cinnamon rolls instead of having to get a dozen outside of the Twirly Tuesday. And she ordered, and she messaged back about an hour after I dropped them off. And she's like, oh my gosh, these are amazing. Take all my money. And I, gladly, but no, I didn't say that, but I'm just like, it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And, I hate it's true, but I'm just terrified and waiting for that one bad review because it'll happen. It will happen. And someone hold back my wife because she's defensive and she's ready to, and it's just business. And sometimes it sucks how one bad review can just ruin 1,000 good ones.
Yeah. If it makes you, if it helps, I'll go undercover and do it myself. So you get the first one out of the way.
That's okay. You gotta do that.
Don't gotta do that. Friggin' yeah. I know what you're talking about though. Like we've had a couple negative comments on our some of my older videos, and when you work on yourself for a long time and you feel like you've made stride, but in the world of content creation, it feels like you're cheating. If you say, especially with the world of YouTube, it feels like you're cheating if you're saying like, oh, I'm redefining myself. I'm going to go delete all my old stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have all this content out there from when I was like 18, 19, I'm almost 26 now.
Yeah.
And someone leaves a comment today talking about like me and who I was and what I knew then. Yeah. And I'm like, they're not wrong. But also, I hate this because I'm being critiqued today for what I was 6-7 years ago.
Man, that's social media.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
that's everything. Yeah,
and it's not like I've done anything wrong at all. It's literally just like them saying, "Oh, you got this wrong thing about like what a film producer does." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't fully understand it, and it's just so simple comments that just like get under your skin, and you're not prepared for it. Not at all.
No, they do. They really do. And you just got to take it with a grain of salt and understand. I mean, I find it encouraging because it's like, you can go back to that person and be like, have you seen my new stuff? Have you really seen my new? Because, man, I watched, obviously I watched a podcast with the four of y'all, Seth. And it's really impressive, man. I mean, the camera quality is it's like a legit, like, Joe Rogan 2.0. I mean,
not 2.0. Joe Rogan has a new 2.0. He just came out with it a couple days ago.
But no, I mean, I was really impressed, and it's just like it but it's clear that you have a passion for it and want to make sure that you have the best quality stuff and the the mics, the best quality camera work. I mean, all that kind of stuff. I was really impressed. Here I am on my Acer laptop, having to Skype with you and everything looks grainy, but I can't imagine what you got a Mac. You're a Mac guy.
I do, but actually I'm talking to you on a Dell. Ugh.
Oh,
I usually work on a Mac, but this Dell is slightly more powerful, and so I want to make sure it's, just trying to work through my options.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is, like, you strive for quality, and it's clear because the product that you create exhibits that. I mean, go back to the wedding video. I mean, it was first class, and so it's just good because when you find people who have those passions, it just drives you and makes you passionate as well. And so what I see, what'd you make, not trying to go off topic here, but Seth showed us a video of y'all two.
Greater remembering?
Oh, no.
Dinosaur?
Greater remembering.
Dinosaur?
That's what it was.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But I was watching it. It's just fun to watch because it's just clear that, it's just having fun.
Yeah.
And when someone has a passion and when someone's having fun and when someone loves talking about what they do, it just drives you. It really does. And so it's good to have those people in your life.
Which actually, me and Joshua, we've been talking about this recently.
Mm-hmm.
And tell a little bit about some realization you've had that you've told me about.
I mean, especially with when Seth came up, he came up here to Virginia a couple weeks ago. For just like a weekend, and we did the podcast, and during that podcast it kind of took me back to when we were in high school, or even before high school, like middle school. We were just making films with our friends, with Seth. I don't want people to go find it, but out there's a film on YouTube with us and Seth called Fight the Good Fight. It was our first film we ever, not our first film, but one of our
What's
first
films. What's
that
called again?
Yeah, people have to hit it on playback, freaking.
But it just brought me back to just making a podcast with friends. I mean, that's what we started Wiseworks doing, is just doing stuff with friends, hanging out on the weekend, and
being
making
creative.
a short film. Yeah.
Being friends with creative people, and if we all want to do something creative, we're going to do it, and that just manifested into filmmaking. And there's a lot of red tape when you get older and you try to make money at it, because it's like, you got to just edit something weird. If someone's paying you to edit this thing that's just completely not creative or completely not, anything you even really care to be attached to, it's what you make. But that's the red tape of becoming an adult. At some point, you strive to do predominantly what you enjoy and what makes you feel like, heck yeah. But sometimes, in the process, you got to do the not fun stuff. Like, I'm sure for you, you probably love baking. You love making people happy. You love making delicious foods. And you want a location. But there's like a whole not fun process to get a location, I'm guessing,
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's stressful, man. It's stressful. And that's where, what's that saying? Like, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. That's a lie.
There's going to be some days.
Straight up a lie. There's always going to be things that you don't want to do that are work.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, even today, it stresses me out posting something that is a special or a feature, and it stresses me out doing it every single time, because I'm like, okay, I got to watch the messages. I got to make sure I don't miss anything. I got to make sure I record the right address and all that kind of stuff. But see, I feel like I can kind of get away a little bit more with it because I can tell people no. For example, like the macaroons guy, I can say, no, we're Southern Bakery. For you, it's like I guess you're kind of this, we'll video whatever for you kind of thing. It's hard to say no, yeah?
Well, I've actually said no to slightly pornographic projects. And obviously that's a line I'm not willing to cross. But when people find out you do any kind of video, instantly, any old dirty man's gonna instantly go like, "Oh, you gonna be filming porn this weekend?" Like instantly.
Yeah.
It's just a thing that happens, and it's the world. I mean, honestly, I went to this one production assistant PA training weekend in Charleston, South Carolina when I was in high school. I was probably 18. And I just stayed there through the weekend. And they had some of these people that were big Hollywood, line producers and production assistants. Like one guy worked on The Office, and that same guy also was working on another film who got fired by Anthony Hopkins. Like
Wow.
He was a pretty. He's not like a known guy, but he's been around the big leagues. And he said like his first projects in Hollywood were all pornography, like being a production assistant for porn. Mm-hmm. And so it's this industry saturated. So me and Josh were out here trying to do it different, but freaking, I mean, you do have to say no sometimes, but if they're paying you money and it's not against your moral code, then sometimes you're just like, all right, let's do it.
I mean, that's it though. You just said it. Your business is an extension of you and your own morals.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's vital too in a good business, honestly. And so I can say like, man, I had a blowout debate with my GM because I told him I'd be closed on Sundays. Mm-hmm. He's like, why? That's another day you can be making profit. That's another day you can be making money. And I'm just like, because for me that, I'm not going to pull someone from worship. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to be responsible for that.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I'm still, staying avid in the church, and, I want my business to kind of show a representation of Christ. And that's just being good and being, kind and just being over the top nice to people and doing things for them when they ask. And I mean, it's an extension of yourself. And I guess my biggest argument to him was like Chick-fil-A. They're closed on Sundays and they are the number one fast food restaurant in the nation.
Yeah.
Explain that to me.
Yeah. I mean, Kanye West wrote a song about him.
Yeah. I mean, there you go. You made it.
Yeah. Kanye West is talking about you.
But it's true. We had this big argument about that. I'm like, man, it's sometimes when you don't focus on the money and you focus on the morals, that's when your business can really thrive. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I know that's kind of sounds weird to say, but I don't know. Your morals come first every time.
Mm-hmm. It's important.
They really
you
do.
Can't walk around this crazy world and not have any kind of moral compass. Like,
golly,
even if it's not religion or a faith-based compass, like you got to have something. Mm-hmm. You got to have something.
Yeah.
Even if you pray to Joe Rogan, I don't know. Like,
I'm sure some people.
Some people, I'm sure, do. If they need some advice, they go and just listen to hours and see if they can pick up something. Who knows? Yeah. I'm sure some people do it.
Well, it always starts from the top down, and that is true. And so, like, if you're a business owner and you're like your production, if you have a moral compass, people are going to see that. People are going to see your business as an extension of you, and they're gonna either like you and love you about it, or some people just aren't going to like you. I think I lost 7 followers on Easter because I posted a Reese's peanut butter cake, and instead of the usual topping, which is like dollops of peanut butter icing and Reese's, I put on there "He is risen." Mm-hmm. And a little cross out of peanut butter. I lost 7 followers off of that. I'm just like, that's fine. I mean, some people aren't going to like your business, that's okay.
Yeah.
You got to stick to what you know and your morals and just stay passionate about it.
Absolutely.
Anyway, little motivation speech.
I do want to talk about stocks. So you said you got real passionate listening to us babble about it.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, okay, let it out, man. If you want to say something, say it.
Yeah.
I think I told Seth I was very proud of him because his answer is, I won't say it's the right answer, but it's his view of stocks. I've made my mistakes in the market starting out because I had no idea what the heck I was doing, and so like I've used Seth and others just kind of discuss some things with, and I think the route of buy and hold is gonna fare better for you as long as you choose good companies every time versus stonks. So I don't know. I'm actually putting out shares of PratersBakery for anyone who would like to purchase. Just go to. I'm kidding. That's a joke.
I was about to say, holy crap, man!
You're looking at me like I'm serious.
I didn't know. But okay, so what would you say when you're trying to figure out, like, okay, define in your mind what you might have seen in past behavior or just a made up example of good behavior and bad behavior when it comes to investing. I'm curious to hear.
Oh my gosh.
Like
GameStop is the example.
All right.
That is the example, because I think I get secondhand embarrassment. Not that I know I am no professional. I don't, I'm an amateur investor, and
Have you seen some good success using it, like doing it, learning?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, when I first started, I lost my butt because I had no idea what I was doing. I was looking at charts and I'm just like, this chart is going up. I'm going to put money into this so that it will keep on going up. And that's basically what I did. Well, I remember I got into one company. It was IGC, International Global Cannabis or something. I can't remember what it was, or India Global. Anyway, point is, I got into that investment and I lost probably 75% of what I put into it because I got it at a high and then it tanked, and it turned out that company was like being investigated for fraud. So I guess my frustration is people don't do their research. There's a time, like I said, I was losing my butt and I'm like, I have to stop. I have to stop and figure out what I'm doing wrong, because this is not working, because people want to get rich quick. And that's what they think the market is. And so I read a book called The Intelligent Investor by Ben Graham, who was Warren Buffett's teacher. And Warren Buffett is, arguably the best investor that, of the 1900s and early 2000s
Absolutely.
ever. And so I read that book, and it's so funny because you can look at my chart on my portfolio and you can see where I stopped. You can see where I finished the book and where I actually started succeeding because I actually started implementing some of the things that the book talked about. And it's just, I think people just rush into things too much, man. And the stonks, the GameStop stuff, like that is a classic. I mean, people just chasing the market, and it's going to go to 1,000. And we're seeing that with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies too. And I'm just like, these things have bubbles. These things are bubbles that are going to pop, and people are going to lose their butt. And there are a lot of people who lost their butt on GameStop. And so I don't know. It's just, it annoys me because I hear me and them.
Yeah.
From 2 years ago. And I'm just like, you don't stop. You don't need to invest in GameStop. You don't need to do that right now. So
maybe take that money and read a book I know.
Dude, best investment I've ever made. Yeah. I think the book was $50 and it changed my path. It was really good.
Do you remember what the book's called?
Intelligent Investor.
Intelligent Investor. Okay.
By Ben Graham. And it is a hard read. It's a hard read because there are things that talks about, I have no idea. It's over my head. I had to research. But one of the best things I saw on there was like, I remembered this through the pandemic. But it was like, imagine a newscast. And instead of saying the market is dropping, the market is tanking, the market is crashing, that newscaster says, everything's on sale, sell, sell, sell. You can buy these things at super cheap prices. And that's what I did during the pandemic. And it paid off big. And it was just, it was really encouraging to see a practice work, basically.
I'm curious, are you willing to share what you currently have money in?
Share. I can give some details.
All right.
For sure. Now that I'm married, it's a joint account. So
so you got to get permission. Yeah,
exactly. but no, I'm willing to share. So there are some stocks that I own. I have a lead stock called OGI. I am not a financial investor. You make your own decisions. I'm just going to give that disclaimer. But I have a weed stock, and I remember one day I sat down for 3, 4, 5 hours and just researched every single one I could find to see which would be the best one, because there's so many of them out there, and a lot of them are pumped up, I'm going to get rich stocks. This one is like a brilliant company that's revolutionizing how they're basically producing weed. And like they grow the most per square foot because they have a 2-tier system, and they have the lowest cost per growing of the plants. And it's just like, those are the companies you want to look for. You just don't want to just throw your money in whatever. So OGI is one of them. ICAGY, which is ICAGY, it's actually International Airlines Group. They are British Airways. basically. And so Europe's had a time, they've done worse, I think, than we have at this point with COVID, with the lockdowns. But man, when things come back up and things get running again, that stock's going to be just fine. But I think American Airlines has almost come back entirely, and this stock is like still like super suppressed. So that's one that I had. I just like the really cheap ones. And so I'm trying to look right now actually and remember what I had. United Foods. They have a deal with Whole Foods, who has a deal with Amazon.
Yeah.
So it's like that's a good one to have.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've looked up these stocks and basically looked at their assets and their debt and see which ones are in really good positions, but people are still scared of for some reason. And those are the ones to go.
Yeah.
So,
those are the ones that are going to be just slide behind everybody. And they're just like up against the wall. And they're like, all right, everybody, we're out here.
It's like,
but we're not in the party. We're on the wall. We're going to go get our drink. We're going to pass by and we're going to go up and upstairs talk to the billionaire or something. I'm just throwing out all kinds of freaking examples. Would you mind?
Warren Buffett said, be greedy when people are fearful and be fearful when people are greedy. So right now I'd be very fearful because people are really greedy with cryptocurrency. Just my thoughts on that. I think it hit another record today. Actually, Bitcoin did, but man,
isn't Dogecoin doing something?
Doge is going up a lot. A lot of the crypto went up today. I was looking at it before we started.
Could I? So during the pandemic, I got Robinhood. I have not put any serious money in it at all, but I did do something.
And that's good.
I did do something that I would like to swing by you and tell me if this is an anomaly. All right.
Okay.
So Seth called me one day. He said, "Yo, pandemic's happening. The American Airlines is down, man. I just put some like money in there." And I was like, "Oh man, I should probably do the same, you know?" But when I got on there, I was looking and I noticed American Airlines was down, but they weren't averaging out over the past 5 years as high as United, right?
Right.
And so, give me 1 second. There's a little prompt on the screen. Let me make that go away.
No, you're good. You gotta look up some of these things as you say them, actually. So
okay, so there wasn't as high of regular, share amount as United, but United was also down about the same amount. So as percentage wise. So what I did is I was like, all right, I'm going to put some money into United. I think I invested about $200 in United.
Okay.
And I actually used the stimulus money. So I took the government money and I put it in some stocks.
Yeah.
So that I actually held on to that for a while, and then it grew.
Good.
It grew. Now this is over the past year. All right. So a while is different defined. I held on to it for a few months. It jumped from like $30 up to, or maybe like I think at 29 I bought it, and it jumped up to about 45, and it stayed there for a while. I was like, I don't know if this is growing anymore. And am I correct? Am I accurate? Are you looking that up?
Yeah. No, you're right on it.
And so what I did then was I pulled out, and then I was thinking, what am I going to do next? And then Joe Rogan announced he was going to Spotify.
Oh, no.
And so I noticed Spotify jumped up, but I was like, but he's not there yet. It jumped up, but he's not there yet. So when he gets there, it's going to jump up more. So I put that money I made into Spotify, and little did I know, actually I knew quite a bit, it grew me another $50.
Sweet.
Yeah. And then after that, I jumped on the Tesla train, and it jumped me up a little bit more. And so I essentially doubled that $200 I invested in 1 year's time. Is that an anomaly because of the pandemic?
Oh, absolutely.
I doubled my money?
100%. Because when you go so low, it's going to come up. So I think what I'm trying to be cautious of right now is that I have made money. And so I'm trying to be very cautious of this mentality of, oh, I'm good at this.
Yeah.
Because you could have put anything in just about any stock. And after the decline in the pandemic in March, everything is like at least halfway back up.
Mm-hmm.
And so you definitely want to be cautious of that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good. I'm good at what I do. And the market will humble you at some point. But
yeah.
all you got to remember, though, is like, if it goes down, just put more money back into it. It'll go back up. That's not the case for every stock. That's not the case for every company. But like, for the most part, like, the market will make money. Like, the market always comes back.
Yeah.
Everyone freaks out in March when it's 18,000 points. No one gets as much hype about it when it's 32,000, and it like blows into records. It's just like, it's crazy. I think some of it is a little more pumped up right now, and I think it will retreat some because I think a lot of millennials and Gen Zs are investing for the first time. So you have that extra money going in the market. So I think some things will retract. So you got to kind of just watch it and make sure you're just investing in good companies. And I mean, those good companies will come back eventually if they're good companies. So,
what did you think?
Anyway.
Do you have any questions or anything you'd like to bounce off of Matt here?
I mean, I agree. You brought up the cryptocurrencies, and I do agree with what you're saying. With a lot of a younger generation, more of our generation, are putting money into it for the first time, so the cryptos are going up a lot. I think, I don't know what you think fully. I know you kind of briefly just touched on it, but I think I have a little bit of money in crypto, just because it is going up, but I'm not planning on probably keeping it forever. I think now that it is going up, it is making me money. So,
yeah. I mean, it is hard to say because I see both sides of the argument, and I can't definitively say it's going to do this or that.
Yeah.
I think anyone who can definitively say something that it's going to do, I think
they're a witch. We got to burn them.
Yeah. It's like, well, either they don't have it or they do have it, basically. Yeah. I mean, ironically, people who love crypto obviously have crypto, and they're going to bump it up by saying, oh yeah, Bitcoin's the next thing. But it's so hard to say. I like the idea of decentralized money. Like, I like that idea. But it fluctuates so much. I don't see how it could ever be a currency.
It does. I invested a little bit into like electric companies because I do think ultimately, where are we going to go with like technology in cars? Eventually, I think we're going to be somewhat, if you agree
gas
that
is
we're
phasing out,
if you think we're totally going to be out of gas, if we're just going to go more into electric, I think we're going to more electric things, primarily because I don't know if you know this, but I work for Lowe's. This year, I counted like from last year to this year, we jumped up from like 25 to about 60 to 70% of all of our equipment, like lawnmowers. We don't have a riding lawnmower, but we have 70% of our push mowers are electric now, all battery operated. There's only like 20 to 30% that still do gas that we keep on the shelf for people to buy. So I'm seeing things like that, and so I have invested in electric just because I know that's going to go up. At least I think it's going to go up. That's being smart.
I think that's smart.
Yeah.
That is smart. That's a long-term goal because that's definitely the direction we're going. I think one of the stocks I have is our company's own is Daimler. They're the car company, but they have, and I don't know if I'm going to say this word right, autonomous.
Yeah.
I think it's right. I think it's right.
Autonomous semi trucks that are coming out, and I mean that's the future. That's exactly what we're going to, and people can like not have people that they have to hire and pay, and they can have just a truck that they can just press a button and it goes from here to there without anyone in it. My gosh, they'd save so much money. So I think those futuristic stocks, like you said, the electric companies, I think it's great. I think it's a great idea.
It's so weird to think that like we look at that and we don't even question it. Like a vehicle that drives itself and that's run on electric. We already have electric, obviously, but just a vehicle that will drive itself. Well, we have that now too. You know?
Yeah.
Elon Musk came around and has done us all a solid. I
the man, the Tony Stark of the real world.
Exactly. He just needs to get his sunglasses game on, you know?
Exactly.
And
Where's his suit? Where's his iron suit, man?
Yeah. I wonder, that it's so weird that we don't even question that anymore. But, you know,
I don't know.
how long have we been going?
I think over an hour.
We're a little over an hour.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Well, I don't want to take any
Talking
more of
is
your
fun.
time. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one more thing. So let me ask you, did y'all get involved in any of the meme stocks?
I know. The only one I bought into because it was cheap, and I threw some money into it just to be like, okay, if I lose this money, I'm good because I'm not putting a ton of money into it. Is Doja Coin, and it has gone up. I've like doubled my money so far.
Is it Doja or Doge?
Doge.
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 Oh, you've been saying it wrong, dog, on the podcast.
Okay, well, Doge. But yeah.
I mean, it's a currency that was made as a joke anyway, so you can pronounce it however you want.
Yeah. But I didn't put a ton of money, so I put it in saying, if this goes up, I'm good. If it goes down, I'm good. So
yeah,
that's the only one.
And that's good. And that's what you should think when you're investing. But like Dogecoin, I was looking at that up versus Bitcoin. And I didn't know this, but so like Bitcoin, I didn't know that there are 21 million Bitcoins. And so that's it. Like there's no more. It'll never be more than 21 million.
Yeah.
But with Dogecoin, they can make, and they do make 5 million Dogecoins a day.
Mm-hmm.
And so the problem with Dogecoin is you're going to continue making Dogecoins. Mm-hmm. The price will never truly like get high. Mm-hmm. Like it can't, because supply and demand. Mm-hmm. The more Dogecoin you have, the slower it's going to go up. So I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to take advantage of and hyping people, but like everyone's trying to get rich so quick, and that's already passed. Like if you wanted to do well in Dogecoin, you had to get in at Dogecoin at like what 0.01 cent or something like that, 0.001 cent.
I got in at like
I think it's what it was
0.004. And so
did you really?
Yeah, like it was 004. Yeah, there was 2 zeros in front of the number.
That's pretty good.
So it's almost at 1 cent now. Almost.
That's a lot though.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
There was 2 zeros and then a 4.
How much money did you put in? Never mind. We'll talk about this later.
But so true story though, I accidentally got involved in the meme stocks. Pure accident. And let me tell you how that happened was so I like to find suppressed stocks, right?
Yeah. And
so I was looking around in December and early January, and I like movies. I'm like, movies theaters are shut down. I look at AMC, Ooh. It's at $2.08 a share. I'm like, this will come back to $30 eventually in 3 or 4 years. Let's do this. I'm putting some money in this.
Yeah.
I think I bought 350 shares of AMC at that point. And so, but again, so they were flirting with bankruptcy, and that's why they were so low. But I was looking at the company. It's a big company. I'm like, okay, they're raising money in other ways. So I think they're trying to avoid this bankruptcy as much as possible. So I'm going to invest a little bit in it and just see what happens. Because I love AMC. I think it'll come back. Wake up the next morning, $4 a share.
Ooh.
I'm like, basically almost double. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I was showing Katie, I'm like, what's going on here? That's crazy. What happened was they avoided bankruptcy basically for a little longer.
Yeah.
Well, then it was $8, and then I woke up and it was $12, and then I woke up pre-market, it was $20 a share.
Oh man!
I'm like, what the heck is going on? I was like pumped. I'm like, what is going on? And that's when I learned about GameStop and what was going on with that whole situation. And so I held for a little, but I think ended up selling at like $13.08.
Okay.
And just won't touch it again until it gets close to 7, because I think AMC will come back. I think it's a good stock. I think it's a good stock to have. As they say, I like the stock.
Yeah.
But
I did read something today. It was like predictions about what the entertainment industry is going to do in the future. Mm-hmm. And it did say that theaters are not going to go out of business. So theaters are going to become an event, and people are going to have like home theaters. They're going to keep watching from home, but theaters are not really going away, which is actually.
Can you imagine? Go ahead.
Well, that's that mentality that you just said. It's the can you imagine mentality of losing theaters. I think that's still heavily ingrained in us. I literally went into the pandemic thinking like, we're screwed, man. We're all done. I'm never going to watch anything on a big screen again unless I buy it. But I guess that's not the case. The heavy predictions that came out just a few months ago are saying theaters are going to still be around. Mm-hmm. It's just going to feel different, just a little. You know?
Right. Well, that's why I liked AMC.
Mm-hmm. And
the reason is because I was doing all the research behind it. Milan tanked on Disney Plus. Yeah. And honestly, that movie should have done pretty well if it, and in all standards of just a regular movie, like coming out with no pandemic, it probably would have done pretty well because it's Disney. Milan's a great movie. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't have gone to see it. Can you imagine watching Endgame and streaming that and not having a movie theater to go to? Like, that depresses me.
Yeah.
Like, being able to sit in a theater with all those people and cheer for freaking Spider-Man swinging out of the portal or whatever. It's
I did watch
They're just some.
I feel like you're looking at me asking if I actually watched it in the theaters.
No,
I
no.
did. I did.
I was going to say, I heard on a podcast, and you guys talked about this like a couple weeks ago on the podcast, about a streaming service that you can, it's kind of, there's all the movies out there.
Oh, hold on.
And
Should
then,
you say this, or are we going to do it ourselves?
No, we're not going to do it because I think someone else is already doing this.
Wait, someone's already doing this? We just came up with it. It's called a Boomy.
Where there's all the movies out there, and you have in the streaming service, like you pay your Netflix cost, however much they have, like $10 a month, and instead of getting a library of what they pick for you, you get, out of all the movies, you can pick like 10 movies a month out of everything, and you have like codes, or you have like coins or whatever you get to get 10 movies of whatever you want. Instead of getting their library, you have all the movies. That way you don't have to have like Disney Plus for your Disney movies, Netflix for this movie, or like HBO Max for this movie.
So Wyatt on the podcast, he called it a Boomy the other night as an example. So imagine you spend $45 a month for a Boomy. But when you get your Boomy, you have Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon, HBO, Peacock, plus other things like maybe in the future Wiseworks, like even a library of never-ending libraries. Everything in the world, the Boomy has it. Well, the Boomy doesn't have it. It's just the interface that gets you connected with specific things on that library. So with your $45 a month, you're paying. It's just a subscription of $45, but you have access to everything. So you say, I want to watch this month. You just go in, and you have like 5 to 10 selections from every single library on Boomy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you said someone's already doing it.
I heard someone talking about it on a podcast. I haven't heard that they have officially done anything with it, but they were playing with the concept on a podcast. That's all I've heard about it. I think that would be good because there's so many times where you go on Netflix, you're like, I want to watch this movie. I want to watch Rambo. And does Netflix have it? No, they don't have it.
Yeah.
So you got to either get another subscription service or rent the movie or something.
Man, if I have to get another subscription, I'm going to lose my mind.
I know. It's ridiculous. And there's also a host of creators out there that are on YouTube or Vimeo or have their own website that they're doing content, but they're not on a platform like this, you know?
Yeah. That'd be huge. I think that's a great idea. It's fantastic. The other day, I think we were talking about watching, Planet Earth, because they had a new season out or something like that. And I remember it being on Netflix. I'm like, oh, cool. We can go on Netflix and watch it. And then right after that came on, get Discover Plus and stream it. And I'm just like, gotta get another one. I just got Peacock trying to get The Office, and they only give you 2 seasons. It's really messed up.
Yeah, that's the thing. The free version, they, to be a little crass, they blue ball you a little bit. What they're doing is they're dangling like The Office out in front of you. They're dangling like, Parks and Rec out in front of you. But they're like, better say the magic word, and that magic word is $. And because that's what I did. I literally, this is actually interesting. I saw that when I realized that, because me and my wife fall asleep to The Office every night. We
beautiful.
I got Peacock. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. A free platform, and they're using ads. I guess they're like doing something similar to Hulu, but they're doing it better. And then I was like, wait, no, this isn't actually what I thought. So I did the math. I made the equation because we have all of it on hard copy. I did the equation of setting up the DVD player, and even if we didn't set that up, how much money do you think my time is worth? And I made that calculation. Then I was like, all right, if I did this for like a year, and it versus like how much
taking the DVD out,
taking the DVD out, putting it in there, getting in the menu, turning it on, and going through the effort every night, and then as opposed to just paying the $7 a month for Peacock
to get the full,
to do it
all the seasons,
to do it effortlessly, just a few taps on the phone. I did it, and it turns out Peacock is much more cheaper. And so I went ahead and got it.
What's your account name so I can log into that?
I actually have to remember. I don't even know. I let my phone take care of it.
Well, joke's on Peacock, because I've seen The Office so many times I can close my eyes and play the episodes in my head.
Oh, well, you're not going to like this. Peacock has added scenes that Netflix didn't have on their edits.
I've seen some of them.
But the thing is, I haven't, and I thought I saw them all.
Oh, God. Like the episode where Michael, like, hangs himself in the warehouse in Halloween.
Yeah. And then there's also a lot to the episode where Michael leaves the office, where he moves. That is not, that I haven't seen before. It wasn't on Netflix. It wasn't anywhere that I saw. I don't even think it's on the hard copies, because I think Netflix,
like season 7 leaves the office, or
yes,
like
when he leaves, the episode where he's leaving to move to Colorado.
Stop talking.
There's a lot on that episode that's on Peacock that hasn't been anywhere else.
Peacock?
I am, and if you can just sign up today for $7 a month, you'll get The Office and Parks and Rec and extra bonus material.
Just use the code.
Are they emotional?
Just hit the blue microphone.
Are there scenes of Michael Scott's last moments emotional?
Oh, actually no. They were more humorous. The deleted scenes. I think they kept all the emotion in there, so it's more just funny moments, like with Kevin and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah. So hey man, we appreciate you being here. We don't want to keep your time anymore, but I do want you to one more time plug your socials and where people can find you, especially those who live in Rock Hill or York.
Yes.
Or Fort Mill or anywhere.
Grow that base. Grow that base.
Yeah.
Show what you do. Love it. I can definitely do that.
All right, go ahead.
Oh wait, what am I doing?
Plug your stuff, man. Tell people where you're at.
PratersBakery, social media, Instagram, Facebook. Just look up PratersBakery. Check it out. And we have Venmo, Cash App, Card, Cash, all that good stuff. And we're posting a new menu next week. So check it in. We'll ship. We'll try it. We'll give it a shot. See what happens.
Heck yeah.
Go with it.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. Very cool. Very cool. All right, you want to plug this stuff real quick, and then we'll bounce?
Yeah. You can, we have all our stuff on our website, wiseworksfilms.com. So just go check us out there, and then subscribe to this YouTube channel.
Yes. Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it, Matt. We're very thankful you're here.
Pleasure.
We love you, man.
Love you too. Thanks.
See ya.
See ya.